roads in Chernobyl, most of the radiation is kind of washed away, and the rain is kind of washed a lot off the asphalt roads. But when you kind of go mucking around in some of the buildings or with dust, particulate stuff gets kicked up, it gets very radioactive really quickly. And so we had our those big Andromeda strain suits and the Geiger counters, and you wear these things called dosimeters that are kind of like personal Geiger counters, and basically they track accumulated radiation. So it's like a turkey timer. When it dings, you're done. So we all have one of those, and my famous story I always tell, Evan, the same camera operator that got screwed up in Romania, you're supposed to wear this dosimeter in your arm, and Evan was given one, and he immediately starts duct taping it to his crotch. I was like, Evan, that goes in your arm. He's like, no, F that go. This is the area I'm worried about. And then after it was over, everything, you sort of timer pops and you're done, and then everything got thrown out. The suits got thrown out, the clothes underneath got tossed. They make you go through this scanner that literally looks like it's from like an original series Star Trek episode. It looks like this fake, weird science fiction scanner that probably is from the 60s. And one of our producers failed his radiation scan on his boots, so that the boots were thrown out. But pretty much, radiation-wise, we just sort of scrubbed down, tossed everything, got out of there. Psychologically, I don't know that it was sort of affecting anybody long term, but it's a place I think about a lot. It's a real, it's a testament to how kind of ephemeral all of this is. All of man's sort of buildings and creations and the sort of hubris of human achievement, like in a moment can just go away. And obviously we've seen that again in Fukushima. I mean, it's sort of meddling with very, very dangerous stuff, and you can see how quickly that gets away from you. So, a really scary place. Yeah. Sure. Love that banana sculpture.
So, I've always wanted to do like film or something, and hopefully I'll be going to UCLA in a couple of years. But I've always loved traveling too. Like, I've gone with my school to London and everything to perform in the marching band. But I was wondering if you would give any advice for like traveling with equipment or like traveling with crew or any like political things.
You mean on your own or sort of with a?
Just like 3 or 4 people.
Well, I mean, traveling with equipment, making a travel show and traveling with film equipment is a pain in the ass, right? It's a lot. So our goal was always to make that footprint as small as possible. So we would endeavor to bring the least amount of gear that we could make the show with. And
invest in a bunch of Pelicans.
Yeah, Pelican cases, plastic Pelican cases.
Yeah. Your gear is, you see how your luggage comes out. Imagine how your cameras come out. I would say look into permits. You may need to garner work permits, or you may need to at least let them know that you're filming. But just go out and do it. It's easier to kind of get yourself out of trouble than asking questions and then finding out you can't do it.
Usually.
That's what we found. But if you're small enough, and you're just doing something for personal use, unless you're filming somewhere where you really can't, that's off limits, I would say just, protect your equipment, plan as much as you can ahead of time, and know what you want to bring back, and go out there and do it. Good luck.
In the red shirt, Hi.
Hi. I actually have 2 questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
First one, have you been able to review the evidence and make sure that it was a unicorn that was standing behind
Great question. Unconfirmed. I don't know. It looked to me like a unicorn. I don't know.
And also my second question, any more plans for the Island of the Dolls?
Island of the Dolls, yeah. Island of the Dolls is a great location that we went to. It's in Mexico City. Another, totally insane. It's like a Hollywood set, that place. You can't believe a place is actually that creepy. It's this island in the old Aztec canals near Mexico City where some creepy old caretaker put, 1 million dolls hung from trees, and everything is covered in dolls. And these aren't just, dolls. They're, dolls with an eyeball missing, a spider coming out. Just, the scariest dolls you've ever seen. And people write or call or ask questions a lot about Chernobyl, Out of the Dolls, the Suicide Woods, and the Haunted Forest of Romania. So we went back to the Haunted Forest of Romania for a second episode. I think if we go make more, Out of the Dolls is a place we would definitely go back to.
Yeah, especially since I didn't get to go.
That's right, Ryder was there for me. So bring Ryder and go back.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sir.
I'm heading to Warsaw next month and wondered what type of vehicle you would get so I can avoid it. And second, what was your most chaotic travel experience that you had because of technical issues?
Yeah. Why are the cars so bad? Just drive down this dirt road and you'll come to a village. And it's like a sleepy little village. There won't be anybody there. It's like a provincial village. And when you get to that village, that's in Senegal. So if you just drive down to the village, get out of the Jeep, and then turn around and come back, you will have been in Senegal. I'm like, perfect. So the whole crew's in the car, and I'm driving. I'm like, guys, I got a little detour I want to take. I want to go to Senegal. And we drive down this road, and we come around this corner in this village, and there's all of these soldiers with machine guns. Like one of those like ones like in a pit. Like,
that's literally our budget is so stretched as it is. That's one of the last things that we think about because you're getting there and you're like, okay, we're here. Let's figure it out.
How bad can the car be? We've had some real shit boxes. The worst car we ever had, I think, was in Israel. It was to make it more than like 10 miles from the airport. We just died. The most chaotic travel vehicle event for me was when the roof ripped off my plane. That's you know, it's like I say it every time. It's like you're in a plane and then suddenly you're outdoors.
Something's gone wrong with it. That was, but for every car, toward like the last season or so, it like stopped being funny for me. I was like, all right, like some of these places we can get a good car. Like we were in Japan and we had a bad car. It's like every car is nice in this country. How do I have a car that's this bad? But yeah, I would avoid Warsaw. I've never been to Warsaw. I would avoid old Eastern European made anything. Sir, back there.
Is there a place that you guys just would not go back to because it just scared you shitless?
The lobby of this hotel around 1 a.m. last night. I wouldn't go back to Chernobyl. I feel like I've done that. I checked that box. That's a place I wouldn't go back to. Any place you wouldn't go back to?
I would go back to Senegal.
Senegal, yeah. So sorry about that. I'm a bit of a country counter. So I want to go to as many countries as possible. And so a foot in counts for me. Some people have argued with me that that's like 2 feet. But just setting foot in, I count. I count airport touchdowns. This is, you know. But so I'm trying to get, you know, as many as I can. And we were very close. We were in Gambia, and we were very close to the border of going to Senegal. And we had a local fixer, a local producer, and I said, I really want to get a foot in Senegal. And he said, oh, easy.